Hello guys, welcome to Shake the Mic. This episode's a special episode as it's one that's going to be dedicated to all that have served in the armed forces, past and present, and going to be released on Remembrance Sunday. Today I'm joined by a family member, an ex-soldier, Tom Colridge, who's got an amazing yet tragic story to tell. Tom, welcome on, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having us, yeah. Yeah, I'm really, really good, mate, yeah. Bit nervous. I'm not going to lie, but I'll be all right.
Don't worry, you're going to settle that. I want to get straight in.
Yeah.
What made you join the army?
Well, when I was a kid, me mum's side, granddad, so her dad, was in the REME, which is the Royal Electrical Mechanical Engineers. And that's what I wanted to do, because obviously you come out with a trade, then you got 3 trades, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, I was in Armed Forces cadets as well and all that type of stuff, but I don't know, I just wanted to follow in that footsteps, you know what I mean?
You wanted to emulate what he'd done?
Yeah.
Did you look up to him, Tom?
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah. Sundays, we'll go up there and all that type of stuff. I could listen to him for hours, mate.
He'd tell you loads of stories.
Yeah, 100%. Like World War II as well, so I've got all these medals at home, like Suez Canal, France, Germany Star, everything. Like he's got there's that many. Class.
So he was your hero as a kid looking up to
I
him?
would say so, yeah, because obviously that's what kind of made me want to join and all that type of stuff.
Is he still your hero now, really, in a sense, looking back now, or no? Yeah?
Yeah, I would probably say so, yeah, because obviously there's certain elements and stuff like that, which we'll get into, which kind of just come together with me and him. Because obviously I'm named after him anyway. So his name's Thomas Baker.
Wow, yeah.
Obviously mine's Thomas as well, yeah. So, yeah.
How old were you when you joined the army?
So, you have to be 17 to join the army.
Yeah.
But obviously, your mum and dad have to sign it to say, yeah, you can go ahead. So, yeah, 17 years old. And obviously, I was in college as well, all that type of stuff.
Still a kid, really, aren't you? 17?
Baby.
You're a baby, yeah.
Yeah.
You just fell out of school and you're trying to find your feet.
Well, fell out of school, like, I didn't come away with, like, all right GCSEs. And what I actually needed to join the REME was 3 Cs. So science, English and maths, which I didn't get in maths.
Because did you go?
That's not going there. Like, my mum and dad like, no, it's bad. It was bad. So that's why I joined college, to try and get that grade back up, so then I can join it. But we did a look at life course with Duke of Lancaster Regiment in college, and I was like, yeah, this sort of college, this is what I'm going to do. So I started evading college and all that type of stuff and all that. And then it was just like soddy, let's just do it. Yeah. Get into it, yeah.
So when you actually signed up, were you 17?
17, yeah. Basic
training, when did you go to basic training?
So it would have been, so obviously you have to have certain things first. So you have to have it's called selection. So you have to go down to, it's a place it's just near Birmingham, but you have to get like physical checks, all that type of stuff, like heart and all that type of stuff and everything else. I got knocked back the first time. Wow. Because I had a heart murmur. That's just from drinking fizzy pop, which like it is bad. But that got checked and they were fine. So I had to go.
To it.
No, there's no. They were just went, you're fine.
Yeah, I've got one myself. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah. So like I say, I mean, you would have got knocked back if you were to do it as well. But you have to get properly checked by, I had to go to Manchester Infirmary to get checked.
Yeah.
And then we started the process again.
Innocent murmur, yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been, can't remember the exact date, but it was June 2009 that I went to basic training up in Catterick, North Yorkshire. So that was yeah.
What was that like, leaving home for the first time? And obviously you're still only, as you said, a baby, and you're going to a man's world, really, aren't you?
It's a man's world, yeah. But like, you got to remember as well, everyone else is around the same age, roughly. So you got like, give or take a couple of years. So I was probably the youngest out of my group. Yeah. But obviously you're on a coach with everyone else and all that type of stuff. So you got to get suited and booted to go and all that.
Yeah, you're all smarted up.
Yeah, so I've definitely got a picture at home with my suit and all that.
You'll have to send it to me, I'll put it up.
Yeah. I think my mum and dad have got it, so I'll have to try and dig it out. But yeah, so like I say, June 2009, so it was exciting, scary, but exciting.
Exciting at the same time.
More exciting, if anything, to be honest.
When you landed at basic training, was it a culture shock? Was it a shock to the system in the sense of like, obviously living on Civic Street and you're going in there?
Yeah.
Walk me through that a little bit.
So when you first get there, you're off the coaches, obviously all your kit, and then you walked to your accommodation, and then they'll say, right, well, because there was, obviously Afghan was getting quite kicking off at that time, so there was that much of an intake that they had to make more divisions to do training. So I was with the Irish, the Scottish, the Yorkshire Regiment and Duke of Lancaster Regiment. So yeah, that was quite...
That must have been hectic.
Yeah, it fucking was. Like,
I was from all over the place and that.
Well, I was coming home with an accent, like my dad was going, where the fuck have you been? But yeah, so like I say, obviously march to the accommodation and that, and then you get to know your mates, what you're going to be living with for the next 6 months. And then you go and get your kit and all that. So then once you landed your kit and go, right, there you go. And then you go, fucking hell, right, here we go. This is it now, yeah, there's no turning back anymore.
Was you excited at that point?
Yeah, because like you say...
Because you were only young and it's what you've worked towards as well, and ultimately that's been the goal,
that was the goal, yeah. So like I say, we got all the kit, obviously come back to the accommodation, all that type of stuff, and obviously didn't start getting to know who's who and all that type of stuff, but there's no like first name basis. It's
everyone's second name.
Second name, yeah. So obviously mine's Colridge, so everyone's going... Colridge and like it's hard, but yeah, like I say, it was hard. It was a graft. Training was a graft. Like there was certain points where it just broke you, like mentally.
Where you just thought, fuck this isn't for me.
Yeah.
What were there end points that you did?
So it was. So you have certain things going along the line. So one of the pictures that I sent you with all the camera on and like white teeth and all that.
Yeah.
That was. 2 weeks into my training, where my family came down to see you and and all that type of stuff. My mum and dad didn't even recognise me because obviously I was still camoed up to out. But I say that was that. But like there was certain elements in training, so like field craft, you'd go out in the field, live in the field, muddy. So this was what, October time?
Yeah, it's
getting colder.
It's cold.
Freezing, water's freezing, more.
Sure, they're joined in the summer, lad.
I know, yeah, it's fucking horrible, lad. I must have had that much water in my boots that it was like torrential rain. It was bad, and they went, right, fuck this, we're going back to the accommodation because it's that packy gear. We're going. Got back, and my sock underneath my foot has folded over. I made an indent in my foot and I couldn't even walk on it and all that, and like it was in bits. So I was like, nah, fuck this, I can't be arsed with it.
Do you know, the tiredness, fatigue, obviously you're getting up early mornings, and you're working your ass off all day, and then you're trying to keep on top of your kit and all the other shit that goes with it as well. As a massive effect, was it a massive effect on your mental state? You think like you could handle things a little bit differently if you weren't as tired and stuff like that, I
think decisions wise, yeah. When you come back from like being out in the field, they'll say, right, sort your kit out, sort yourselves out, get showered, wash your kit, do all this. You've got time to do it.
Yeah.
But like when and then like when you've got other stuff, you've got a lot of time around you. So with downtime, you've got all night to sort your kit out and all that type of stuff. But decision-wise, when you're out on the ground or at the ranges and all that type of stuff, that's when things start.
Yeah, because you're tired.
Fucking with your head, yeah, because you like shouldn't have done that.
You wish it was downtime again.
Yeah,
fucking happy, lad.
yeah, 100%, lad. Yeah. But yeah, it's like it was exciting. Don't get me wrong, but like I say, that time where I thought, nah, fuck this. And I actually handed in my resignation letter.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what happened?
So we were going home at the weekend, and my corporal, who I know quite well now and all that type of stuff, he went, go home, chill out, have a think about it and all that type of stuff. But my dad, obviously being like the way he is like, right, pros and cons. What the pros to being in there, what the cons to being in there, all that type of stuff. Weigh it up, and whatever you think
is right for you.
Yeah, and then go from there. So I stayed in.
It was meant for you, Tom, regardless anyway.
It was, yeah, but there's...
Do you think going home made it harder, the decision harder? Because when you're going back home and you're around your family again, you're getting more input, but as well, like, when you're actually there, you're sort of in a rhythm and you're in a routine. And that's the break of the rhythm and the routine, you know.
Going home was all right, just for the fact that, like, my mum washed my kit for me. Like, there you go, mum, have all that. And that's when they found out I started smoking as well.
Gears things to smoke.
Yeah, I'm finding fag dimps in my pockets, which can't just flick it away and all that. Yeah. So that was a bit of thinking, but...
Naughty boy.
I know, yeah. Hang on 2 seconds. I'm just... so like going home and stuff like that, it was all right because it's a bit of normality back again. And then you go back. The bad thing was going back.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You've been back home, you're back in family life, and then it's like, yeah, you've got to go back, and you know what you're going back to. You know it's difficult. Yeah. You know it's going to be long days. Yeah. And you know you're going to be back out doing field craft with your fucking feet killing, soaking, and you're tired, and you're thinking, why the fuck am I doing this?
Well, there was, it was final X. So it was a final exercise before we finished training.
You're close. You're very close at that point, then, aren't you?
Yeah, so it's like, just push through it, you'll be all right. Like, but they took us up to, it's up towards Scotland somewhere, but it's like near a nuclear submarine base. And mate, it's like climbing mountains, and it's snowing because this is now November, December time.
Yeah.
It's bad, waking up, and the next minute you got, fucking hell, what's all this snow here? Like, you're looking up in it, and like, it's just like, right, we're going nowhere, chill out, put your fires on, you'll be all right. But like I say, you got to try and
keep going.
It's the mental side of it, 'cause that was what breaks first.
You know, the first time when you put the uniform on, so did you feel part of something?
Yeah, I felt well proud. I mean, because I've worn it in cadets, different.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you. Yeah, was you in the build up to it before you joined the army? You were in the cadets.
Yeah, I was in the army cadets in it was Penca Detachment in Warrington.
Yeah,
but it was the same regiment. Yeah, that I was in.
The cadets is cracking in it. I was in the cadets as a kid. We used to go to Wildcard and all that.
Yeah.
You're going home, aren't you? And it's easier, you know what I mean? It's a couple of days and it's a laugh with the lads. You're all on camp. It's like a big boys club, innit? I
say Christmas away and summer camps and stuff like that. Like, it's fine, but like that's real.
Yeah, it's different, innit? But you, as I said, you feel a part of something. And obviously, yeah, very proud because you've achieved something. Camaraderie with the lads.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
A lot of shit. A lot of shit that we probably can't say on here.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird because you would think you wouldn't get on with the other, like the Irish, the Scottish, and the Yorks and all that, but they were sound. Like they were. Yeah,
you're narrow-minded when you're young, but then when you actually get out there, you realise we're all the same and we're just all there to do the same thing. And you go, you know what? These are all right. These.
Yeah. Go the naffy with a beer for them and everything. They were nice, and like you say, they obviously. Once we finished, obviously everyone's gone their separate ways. So, I mean, Facebook, you keep in contact with things.
I know it sounds cheesy, but did you make friends for life?
Yeah. But, right, so some of them obviously left the army and stuff like that, and some of them are still in it. But I don't see them as much as my other mates. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's because it'd be different if I didn't get injured.
Yeah, because
that way
would have took a different path.
Yeah,
100%.
I probably would have stayed in for quite a bit because I signed up for 4 years originally, but I think like
you would have. Do you reckon you would have went longer? Maybe the half pension type, or it's hard to say, isn't it? Because after 4 years, you can leave right whenever you want, but it's not like a 2 week notice. It's a year notice. You've got to plan it type of thing.
So if you want to leave on year 5, you put your thing in year 4 and all that type of stuff. Yeah. But I think it would have been a little bit different. But I think I would have been more of a dickhead if I was still in the army. I honestly can't. Yeah. I was starting to get a bit too big for your boots.
What regiment was you in?
So originally, like I say, I wanted to join the Remy, but at selection, I think they have a quota that they've got to meet. So they've got to pump people in different places. So it was the infantry. So it was Duke of Lancaster Regiment. So it's the Scousers, Manx, like the Cheshire area, and Cumbrians. So that's a mix, a lot.
Big mix.
But say everyone's great in there, mate. Like it's, the banter between everyone and all that, like it's just amazing.
And was your role just of a general soldier?
Yeah, as you would probably put it, cannon fodder. Yeah, just sounds really shit. Like, but that's the reality. Your front line type of stuff.
Passing out, I suppose that was a very proud moment for yourself and for your family.
It was amazing, because obviously you're in your twos, which I think you got a picture of that as well, like looking really, really smart, like to the point where like your parents don't even recognise you, because like you're all skin and bone and like but like it was great, because like me mum and dad were there, and I think my granddad and my nan and my uncle as well. We're all there and all that type of stuff. So that was amazing.
Because you had the moments of doubt as well, do you think it made it that little bit sweeter? You know, where you thought, fuck this, I can't do this, and then you've overcome something and you've come through it, which is a massive achievement.
I was in bits when I was putting that resignation letter in, because my head was just
didn't
all over the place.
What was right and what was wrong,
I mean, I would say I'm quite a resilient lad.
Yeah, but there's resilience, and it's like,
it's hard. It's fucking solid, but like passing out, all that type of stuff, like seeing your family and like, say, mum and dad very, very proud and all that type of stuff. I was 18 then.
You're a kid still. You're still, as you said, you're a baby. You know what I mean? And you are in a man's world, and to go through all of that, you know, there's some men who are fully grown men, and they just can't handle it. They can't do it. You've got to be a certain cut. You've got to have character and depth as well.
Well, when I passed out, I think it was my granddad bought me a beer, because we were allowed to then, because like the corporals, they give you so much shit during the 6 months, and they like put your arm around you going, well done, mate, like you smashed it and all that type of stuff, and you're having a nice pint with them and all that, and it's just
nice.
It's nice, you know what I mean? Like,
you're respected now.
Yeah, that's it. You're a soldier now. You're not just a little crow cap, as you call it.
After that, after you've passed out and all the fun, the pints and that, how long have you got before like you going back, or should I say before you got deployed? Did you have a period of time before you were deployed, or it was one of them, pack your bags off your bar?
So after we passed out, we had the weekend to ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, back home. But then we had to come back to clean the accommodation for a week. Something like that, but we still had to wear our uniform, but we're buried, belted and all that. So like, instead of queuing up for the canteen, it's like, fuck off, get out of the way.
Yeah, because
Where
6 months ago you were at the back of that queue, and the other lads were walking past going, beat it.
That's it. But like, you don't have to march and stuff like that. Like you're literally a soldier now.
Yeah,
and the
where
rest
you
of them,
were marching everywhere you were going, marching to breakfast, marching
everywhere. But like I say, obviously then we've had Christmas, so we got home for Christmas for like 2 or 3 weeks, which was amazing, because see family and all that type of stuff.
You're eating all the scran you want and all that.
Yeah, it ain't fucking hurt going back though.
You know, with all the lads fucking dick docks in the morning and all that shit.
And the pints and stuff like that. But then we went back in January, I think it was the 6th of Jan, 2010, it would have been, went back there. It's a Son Barracks is whereas we were based as a regiment in Cattrick. So it's literally around the corner from where I was doing my training. And obviously you put into your thingy. So I was Anzio Company, 1st platoon, 1st section. So obviously you break it down like that. And it was literally from the point of coming back in January, bit of training, all that type of stuff, and then we were being deployed on, I think it was the 21st of March 2010, and I remember that because Liverpool play United, and I think we got beat. Well, I think we got beat 2-0, so I was watching that in Dubai at that point.
Oh,
yeah.
So when you knew you were getting deployed, where was the first deployment? Afghanistan.
Yeah, so it was literally like the preparation for it could have gone better, but it was the schedule. So we've joined, we've learned how to different equipment, but then you get to your barracks, you get to regiment and they go, oh yeah, there's this bit of kit and this bit of kit that we're going to be using. I'm like, right, well,
we've never seen that, and we've never used that.
I've got fucking 3 months to try and get this into my head.
Shit.
So that was quite difficult. Like the Valium, which is like it's a metal detector, IED detector. Trying to figure all that out and all that type of stuff, but obviously trying to squeeze it into so little time as well.
Have you got a particular role when you're going to land there? Like, are they saying, right, this is what your duties are every day, or is it one of them you sort of like, as you when you're there, you're doing different things on a daily basis?
Yeah, so no, technically, because obviously you're just a foot soldier, you're just front line, but there's in a platoon you have 3 sections. Okay, so when we were out in Afghan, it was one of them is on guard duty, so they're on Sangha patrol and stuff like that. So Sangha's a big, imagine like a sniper tower, like something like that, like an overlook so you can see all the ground around you. So you do that, and then you've got patrols, and then you've got QRF, which is quick reaction force. So if first platoon get into let's call it a firefight, then third platoon who are on QRF, kit, gone. They're gone. Yeah, so they're out, and then the backup basically.
So it's quite, you've got to be able to adapt, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which is the nature of being in the forces anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, when I was out there, there's a picture where I've got all my kit on, I'm taking a knee with all my weapon, and that big bit of kit is ACM, and it's basically, I don't actually know what the word for it is, but it stops remote detonation IEDs. So like, when they call it and they go boop and it goes off. Yeah. That stops it, and he puts a bubble around. Yeah.
Right, so they can't remotely set it off.
Yeah, but that's fucking heavy kit, that. Yeah. And for like a little scrawny 18-year-old, I'm carrying it going,
I've got the picture, I'll pull the picture up. Definitely.
It's hard, that. Trying to come back off from your knee like using your weapons and stand up. It's bad. Yeah.
First deployment, Afghanistan. Leaving home. What was that feeling like? Carry on.
It was exciting, nerve-wracking as well, obviously. Yeah. As you can imagine. But like the picture that you've got on what I sent you with me sat on the plane like that, thinking, shit, what the fuck am I doing here? Like that, then reality set in. So it was very, very exciting, because obviously you go in there with your mates and all that type of stuff, and
it's what you've trained for, what you've worked for,
and they know that you've got their back and they've got your back. But see, nervous because you don't know what to expect.
Did you realise, this is a hard question for me to convey to you in the right manner, so did you realise what you were going to? Like, so when you've got a big event coming up, maybe that be a fucking wedding for the layman, or like for your civvy, or anything, a fucking football final, a boxing match, anything, you'd imagine it in a certain way in the build up to it, don't you? You lie in your bed and you think what the venue will be like, or what that's going to be like, what will it be like when that. So you've obviously built up this picture in your head of going to Afghanistan and being a soldier.
Yeah.
Was it anything like what you thought it was going to be like?
Yeah and no, because where we were originally, right, so we were in Patrol Base 22, which is in Shorkat, so it's in Nadi Ali district of Afghanistan, right? And it's just a tiny, tiny little patrol base, like that you've got to fit 30, 40 lads in. But we found out as well that one of the Afghan army lads shot a load of the Coldstream guards there. Basically took a turn and said this and shot loads of our lads and all that type of stuff before we got there. So when we found out, that was a bit nerve-wracking. But where we were to begin with, everyone was lovely. Like the locals were sound. Like they're bringing in like chip butties and stuff like that. It was class.
This is something that I've wanted to ask you.
Go on.
It's just something that I've thought about. When you flew in and you actually landed, what was that experience like? Where did you land?
So, like I say, we went from Dubai. So we took a normal plane from Durham Air Base up to over to Dubai. So we saw like the Burj Khalifa and all that when we landed and all that type of stuff, which was amazing. Like looking down going, wish I was there now. Really wish I was there.
All the lads are like, that looks sick. You're going to
go somewhere else. Yeah. So I thought, we'll land at the airport, we able to buy loads of ciggies and that, and like, it was like, no window in there. We were like right into the desert, like nothing around you. And then you get into what we call the Hercules. So, you know, the big aeroplanes, but you can get like tanks and all that.
Sick. Yeah, I've seen that.
So you fly in with that, and then as you land...
Could I just ask, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, because it's something that just hit me as you were passing on it. The way you said you were going to get, like, you thought, we'll get loads of ciggies and that. When it was like, nah, you can't. But then you was thinking, shit, we're going to be in Afghan here, and like, if you smoke, you've got no ciggies. What's the score there? Or like,
so,
you know, like your tabnams, your little bits and pieces, you create your comfort. You're thinking, I should have put a fucking load of crunchies in that bag, man.
It's fucking melted, man. So you get heat on that. No, right. So the good thing was I took loads of Lambert and Butler with me, right, when I was smoking and that. So I had loads of them in my kit. But in can't think of the big Cambastion. Cambastion. There's fucking Pizza Huts and shit like that, you know.
Shit, yeah, I wouldn't imagine it like that.
You go down to the American one, they got McDonald's and everything. Like, so you're not short of cigarettes.
I was just imagining it to be but getting to Camp Bastion.
That's Camp Bastion, right, in patrol bases.
Patrol 22, that weren't the situation.
No chance. So like...
Shit, buddy, but no,
it's fucking horrible. But like, my mum and dad would send me like shoe boxes, pot noodles, super noodles, they came in handy. And
you know, like the basic shit like that, you know, when you get that little box,
you open it and go, fucking hell, chicken and mushroom, like pot noodles, get in.
Fucking get in, boy.
Like I said, like, and then like there'd be like 100 Lambert and Butler, and I'd be like, sound to put them away, because you're smoking shit, if anything, when you're over there. And it's not like, not at all.
But you're not asked because of the situation where you're at.
Exactly.
So sorry to derail you there. So what was it like? So you went from you've been in Dubai.
So gone from Dubai, obviously on the big Hercules, and as we're coming into land, it's like, right, put your helmet on, put your body armour on, we're turning the lights off, we're landing in the dark. That was fucking scary, because you couldn't see the person in front of you, you couldn't see the person next to you, it was that dark.
Do you know when that moment came? Was that like something out of a fucking war film, or like, you know what I mean? Like that was like sort of like, but it's reality at the same time. And you're there, you're in the dark, and you're like, whoa, and you're on this fucking Hercules. All the lads are with you and that.
And I'm like, I've not even got here yet. Fucking hell, like give me a chance.
Yeah.
But like obviously landed.
Thinking I want to be telling the grandkids about this.
Like you got shot down. No, like it wasn't an issue. I think it's just so they can't get eyes on you and all that type of stuff. So obviously landed. Got all your kit, got off.
Did it feel surreal? That was where it was going. Yeah, you know, when you actually put your boots on the ground, you're in Afghanistan.
You're in desert then. So that's when the dust starts kicking up and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's kind of,
You know, when you go on holiday and you get off the plane, bang, the heat hits you, done it. Do you know what I mean? Just on a general holiday. And the place has got a smell to it and stuff like that. And you can remember it, you know, like certain things. Can you remember that? Like when you landed in Afghanistan, can you remember the feels?
I can remember the heat.
Give me the feels, Tom. Give me the feels.
I think it must have been about 9 o'clock at night, because it was pitch black going in, and you got to remember, like, it's March, so it's not mega hot. But as soon as you step off, it's like stepping off in Spain. Heat hits you and you go, fucking hell. But then all the dust is kicking up your nose and all that type of stuff. So you're like, Jesus Christ, like, I'm like, give me a sec. I've only just got here. But you spend 2 weeks there at Camp Bastion to get acclimatized.
Is that where you go to first? Is that where the first port of call was, Camp Bastion?
You don't take a weapon with you. They give you a weapon when you're there.
Right.
So they obviously be a bit dodgy going through like Manchester Airport with like a couple of rifles, wouldn't it? Like, so like they obviously give you the weapon, give you what your. So I had on the picture that you've seen, I had an SA-80 with a grenade launcher at the front, so that's why I got like that bit. So like that's yours. You keep that, yeah. But like lads were getting like better stuff than that, to be honest. Like, So like LMGs.
Was it mad like that? Like, you're walking around this place, so it's got a fucking pizza hut on it and that. You're in Afghanistan. You're walking around with this fucking big naughty weapon in your hand.
Yeah, you sling it behind you and all that.
And your mates are like, look what I got. And
yeah, like the big GPMG is massive weapon, but like they also give you a pistol if you got that. If you're gonna go into like close quarters, you can't be in a big fuck off.
Yeah.
Big jimpy round here, what they call it. But like I say, you spend 2 weeks there, so you get acclimatized and all that type of stuff. And then they'll go, right, we'll go in here, we'll go in there, pack your shit, we're going.
When you were in Camp Bastion, could you hear any of the madness going on the outside or not?
Yeah.
So could you hear fire during the days and during the evenings and stuff like that when you were in bed, when you were...
Well, Camp Bastion, it's a big place. Like, it would probably take you half an hour to walk from one side to the other. That's how big it is. But like mortar alarms are going off. So but they also have a thing where if squaddy dies on the ground, all communication stops, so all the computers go off, all the phones go off and all that type of stuff. So I can't remember the exact word for it. It's like code something, and then they put it on like the tannoy system, so that means then someone's died. Yeah. So
and did you ever was you just coming across that?
A lot. That was, I think that hit you harder.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, was that like shit?
Yeah. Because obviously, you're speaking to a couple of lads that are there based in Camp Bastion, going, what's that about? I mean, like, someone's died. So you're like, oh, fucking hell, like, and all that type of stuff. So that's a bit...
Sleeping arrangements, what was that like?
At Camp Bastion or on the ground?
At Camp Bastion.
At Camp Bastion, it was just like bunk beds.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just bunk beds. But you got to imagine a massive, like a shelter, like thingy shelter like that, and there was probably about like 200 lads in there.
What, like half a can of beans type of thing on the floor?
Yeah. So hot as well.
When we were in the cadets, we stayed in them up in Scotland.
Yeah.
Exactly so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like
massive,
and in the fucking heat as well. That's just going to be insane.
It's cooler outside than it is in. That's how bad it is. But at the patrol bases, it was different. Like, you go where you want, do what you want. The first bit where we went, it was like being on holiday. It sounds weird, I know. And when I tell people it, like, they're like you're at war, and I'm like, no, like, because everyone was lovely, didn't get shot at, there was nothing was bad.
After a fortnight of being in Camp Bastion, what is it, knock on the door, like, morning lads, grab your bags, grab your kit,
basically, yeah,
we're going.
Helicopter.
Well,
good.
Sick.
Yeah, it's scary though, because like, the Chinooks with the two blades.
Yeah.
And if they're carrying stuff, there's a big hole in the middle, so you're looking down going, that's quite a long way, that. It's like seatbelt on. There's no chance. Yeah. And then they like land, but like where we landed, we went to they call it forward operating base, or FOB. So that was Shawcat. So everything got sent there originally.
From Bastion to the FOB, did Camp Bastion feel like a bit of a safe house? Because obviously you've landed there, it's fucking massive. All the lads are there and whatever else. So it's like when you first land there, you feel safe, all right, yeah, there's things going off on the town. You're thinking, yeah, but where you are at that moment. But when they're actually saying, right, okay, and you're in a Chinook helicopter and you're up in the fucking sky, then was you scared, Tom?
Yeah, because
you go into the unknown, and this is like, now shit's getting real. We've had our holiday. We've been to Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? Now
it was all right. It was better than Domino's, but when we've landed in Shawcat, so like that's, if they say that's Shawcat, and then they have like a patrol base. So everyone's spread out. So like we went helicopter to the FOB, and then we got these, they're called Mastiffs, the big, the picture I sent you when I'm sat on one.
Yeah.
That. One of them to the base, and then get out and all that. But like,
the Mastiffs look sick, by the way. That's a big kit,
yeah. I've got a picture. I'll have to dig it out. There's one of the lads crashed it. Put it into a ditch and we couldn't get it out. So I'll have to find out.
Send it to me.
But yeah, so like I say, when we were at at the patrol base again. Like I said, there was nothing, mate. There was nothing around. All locals playing footy with them and stuff like that. Like just nothing.
What were the locals like?
They were lovely.
Were they?
They'll give you loads of information and all that type of stuff.
Could they speak English or?
No, we have an interpreter.
Yeah.
So the interpreter like speaks better English than me. Like so he's like going back and forth. And I'd be like, right, well, stay away from there. Like there's like IEDs and all that type of stuff over there and all that type of stuff and whatever. They were lovely, but
was there trust issues?
No, I don't think there was because the area we were in, it was very for us. Like they wanted us there because
it was making them safe.
It was security, yeah. I mean, like,
do you know that's another question that's not really crossed my mind? So I just thought I'd just jump in there. For the local, are they in danger with the terrorists? Are they in danger with the Al Qaeda? Yeah. You know what I mean? So if Taliban, if a kid's walking down the street and they're seen by the enemy, are they getting killed? What's the situation?
No, so it's
how are they actually operating when they're on the ground? Because I know you see loads of shit on the news, and you get your average Joe here talking, telling a story, but coming from the horse's mouth from someone who's been and seen it, what is that situation?
Well, you don't know who's who. You don't know who's who at all. So there could be a farmer, and the next minute he picks up a rifle and starts shooting at you, drops it and legs it. You don't know who's who at all, but they're in danger by telling us things.
Yeah, so they're basically informants, the grasses.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The grasses, yeah. But for us, so it's not too bad. As long as they're not telling them, so we're all right.
How'd you say grass and Africa?
Lots of looking at, actually. But yeah, like I say, it was great around there. It was just dead relaxed and all that type of stuff. And then we got moved from there 6 miles or I think it was like 4.2 kilometers or something stupid like that north, and that's when things got a bit dangerous. That's the thing. So they moved us because
the whole base, the lorries, or just
us up to this. Well, we were in a massive area which was technically a fob, so Fob Follad. That's where we were at, and across a bridge was a little village, and that's where we were getting shot at constantly from and all that type of stuff.
Do you know when he set a base up, Tom? How does that work? So say if they were going to move you and you were situated where you were, and they went, right, where are you moving you 6 kilometres north? Or what will they go before you and sort of set it up for you to come?
No.
Do you go and set it up yourselves? How does that work?
Well, that's been set up for a while, this fob. So, but it's like someone's house. Like imagine, but like all it is. It's just a load of mud huts that I think someone must have been living there. And the army have gone, here's a couple of dollars. But it was great because it had its own like landing pad and all that type of stuff with the helicopters. But as soon as you landed, got off the thing, they were shooting at you.
Weird,
yeah. So then you fucking feel like this is real now.
So when you landed at 22 the first time, what was that like? Cool, you got in,
fine,
sound,
no problem whatsoever.
So
Dead
now,
relaxed and all that type of stuff.
So now you're moving from there 6 kilometres north.
Follad.
So when you went to Follad, was that by helicopter again, or was that?
That was helicopter. Yeah.
So you flew in there. What's happening when you're flying in?
So as we're flying in, everything was fine, and then they've dropped the back door to get out, and it's just like a load of pings coming out.
Ting, ting, ting. And what are you thinking at this point now?
Well, the pilot's going, get the fuck off now. We need to get out of here. Yeah. Because obviously they're in danger by sat there going, yeah, I'm here.
When you can hear that now, Tom, and you're getting out of this helicopter, what's going through your mind at that time?
And I'm safe-ish because obviously the big, massive walls around you and all that type of stuff, they're just trying to shoot the top of the helicopter.
Yeah.
But then that was the first time we got shot at. So it's gone
reality.
From a holiday.
Yeah, we've went from Pizza Hut to fucking to whale wolf.
Exactly, that's it. And it's I say that was scary. Like, to be fair, like,
you do.
Yeah.
So now you've landed here, right? Boots on the ground, sand in your crack. What's a day like in fucking
So like I say, it'd either be patrols, guard, or stand down for a bit. So patrols, like I think we were one of the first to go on patrols, and you're going across a bridge, and this village is quite big. No fucker around, no one's coming out. No, you know when you feel quite hostile.
Yeah.
Everyone else was lovely at the other place, and they're now going like they know that we're coming across because they've got what they call it. They can hear it over the radio.
Yeah,
we can hear them on the radio.
Some sort of intercom that tells them. Yeah, and you can hear what they can. When they're discussing things, you can hear it, so they know. Yeah, they're coming across now.
Across the bridge now and out.
And when you're going across that bridge now, do you know when you actually left? Was it Camp Follard? What you were in now?
We were in Camp Follard. Yeah, so we're going from there to there.
So when you're leaving there, when you were actually out on patrol, when they were like for the first time, kit on, we're going out. When you were walking out, Tom, what was your what is that now? Like, this is the scary time. Every time you leave, is it scary? And then when you come back to camp, you feel safe.
Yeah, so you like the weight off your shoulders. I mean,
you can chill a little bit.
Right, yeah. But like it got quite serious when we were there, like because.
Was you engaging in fire
constantly?
Was you?
Yeah. There was a time where we were on guard, and I don't normally tell this, but it's fine. But we were on guard, and like there was that's the bridge. We're here in the Sangha, and then like there's a police things stopping vehicles and all that, and we're just messing about, throwing rocks at them. They're throwing them back at us because we're bored.
Yeah.
Right, but obviously there's a guy on the Sangha, and I've gone to call it out, and a ping's gone right past my head. Right, so I'm going fucking right, helmet on. I didn't have anything on. I just had me pants, a little bandana, looking like Rambo. Like, helmet on, body armor on. Got on the gym pier, and basically there was a guy on top of a roof. Yeah, and I've just fucking unloaded this like 1,000 rounds into this like small hut, but to the point where they brought the Mastiffs out with the big fucking 50 cal guns and all that type of stuff. And our RSM was there at the time, the Royal Sergeant Major, Regiment Sergeant Major, sorry. And I've come back in a bit later on, and they've gone, yeah, you got him. And I was like, wow. Oh, sound. And you don't know how to feel
about it, yeah.
So I'm like, but they've had a funeral like 2 days later, and I'm like,
that's you're doing.
I've just done that. Like, what the even the Sergeant Major had a chat with me and had a walk with me, like, look, because it was their first one out of us all, so it was like no one knew how to feel. Like, that's just someone's dad, or someone's granddad or whatever.
At the same time, it's your then, innit? You know what I mean? And when you heard that ping, it
was fucking close. Like,
that could have been you. It could have been your fucking funeral. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what, essentially, as bad as it sounds, that's what you're there to do.
Exactly.
Regardless of what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
Doing
my job.
That's it. That's your job, innit?
But like that was a bit of a weird experience. But like every time we went out, like when we were there, like we got it bad. We got it quite bad to the point where two mates were on patrol and that, and then a big bang's gone off at the front, and obviously everyone's took a knee because we're trying to figure out what's going on. One of my mates has stepped on an IED, and that was, when you're like all your blood rushes to your feet. And you turn white and you go, shit. And then like we're trying to back and forth past kit and all that type of stuff, because then he's scanning with the Valen, and there's just beeps everywhere. So you don't know if that's metal or you don't know if it's another IED. So he can't move. The lad that's at the front with him, he's trying to patch him up as best as he can. And then we're back and forth, and there's this tiny building, like if that's the road, it's a tiny building there, and we're back and forth, and I've come across it, and another one's gone off there. So I don't know if they've pulled it and waited, and another lad's lost both his legs as well. So is this obviously this is happening in front of you, Tom? Yeah, like this starts messing with your fucking head, like, because like one of them's like I got quite close with him, like Coops, another lad Jack Plant, but like I've one of my corporals, Walshy, he's called me back and said, like, look, I need your hands here, and I've had to lift what was left of his legs. Well, so like this bit here now, up and carry him across this little tiny bridge. And all that stuff, and then put him down. So when I say it's like jelly, like holding a plate of jelly, got to remember, obviously, your thigh muscles and all that type of stuff, there's loads in there. So that was like shit. So I'm like trying to patch up, fucking throwing up at the same time, like all that type of stuff, because obviously you can see pure bone and everything. Patching him up, and then...
And there's fucking rest of his limbs in the fucking ditch.
One of his, you know, like you have the knee pads, his knee was still in the knee pad, in the tree. One of his rifle magazine was attached to the tree, like embedded in the tree, because it's hit that hard. It's metal stuck into the wood. And then the Pedros, which are the two helicopters that come out, like which are the medic stuff. We've had to airlift them both because there's no landing site around. But like we're there. This is now near on 3.5 hours in the heat. We've got. I mean, this is only really meant to be a quick an hour walk out, check it out, and all that type of stuff.
You know, during the walk out, what is what's the aim of it, Tom? You're walking out to just go on a patrol, to just check the area is safe? Or is it to like cover another piece of ground to say that ground's safe? Or are you crossing the same ground every day?
No, so we would map it out and go, right, we're going to go the right side this time. And see. What you're trying to do is you're trying to show face. So you're trying to
presence.
Engage with the locals, all that type of stuff. But they don't want fucking nothing to do with you because it's so Taliban orientated.
And if it's Taliban orientated, they're fucking absolutely petrified, because if they're speaking to soldiers, they're fucking getting it themselves.
But we did have some locals putting rocks around certain areas.
So you knew.
Don't step there, basically. That's where an IED is. So they were doing this at night, so they were in the cover.
The Taliban presence, was it big?
Oh yeah, they didn't like us there.
In terms of like amount though, like obviously, was it a big presence there? Like you're saying, there was a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
Did you know, like you could feel the way you were making your presence known by going out all the time? Every time you went out, was there an engagement, or would it be sometimes you go out, wouldn't really see or hear nothing the next time you go out?
It's hit and miss, really. Like, because you go out and, you know, not many people would speak to you, obviously, because they don't want nothing to do with you. But we were going to that's the village. Like there's a little bit further forward, which we think that's where they're operating from, right? So we've obviously pushed forward, and this is not just a one section, this is a 3-section thing this now and all that type of stuff. So QRF is sat back a little bit over the bridge, ready to rock and roll if anything happens. And we've got into this building and they've just started pinging us from like 4 different locations and all that type of stuff. And it was, right, we need to fucking get out of here now, because it's literally like we're surrounded. We haven't got the presence and all that type of stuff. We had Apache helicopters above us, which was pretty cool. But it was like, right, out the door, fucking down back the path, pick your knees up so they can't shoot your ankles and all that type of stuff. And there was rounds hitting the ground around you and all that, like, you're fucking trying to give it limbs, like just trying to get past things. And obviously there's a row of our lads trying to shoot that way. So not at you, obviously, trying to shoot around you because they can see where it's all coming from. But there was another, we were in this building and another building across. We're just like throwing grenades over the top of the walls and all that type of stuff, and you can hear loads of screaming and stuff like that. And we're just like, get out now. Like, we need to get out. Like, it's one of the lads had it on a GoPro. I'm not going to say his name just in case, but we watched it back and it was a bit mad. Like, but yeah, like I say, obviously, so that's where they're operating from, because obviously that's their little base where they were. So there's the village and there's us. So it was like, it was a lot of engagement trying to take this village.
Do you think when you were moved there, they knew where they were moving you?
What, the army itself? Or, yeah. I think, because obviously there's people, you've got to rotate people in and out of different locations, yeah? So we were put there, but we didn't have the numbers. The base was too big. To the point where we did an operation with 3 platoon and 2 platoon. They came from Shawcat and another PB down the road. There was loads of lads, and obviously I saw my mates that I was in training with and all that type of stuff, and we're chatting away and all that shit and all. But that's when things got a bit tasty because they we're taking this village by storm now.
When the lads, when you were out and they got, they stepped on the IEDs.
Yeah.
After that, when you're going out and like getting back to base and lads aren't coming back in one piece, literally, or possibly not coming back at all.
Yeah.
Was there any of that not coming back at all?
Yeah. So when me uncle Dave, he was in the Queen's Lancs, right, and then he moved up to Cumbria, so the King's Own Border, which amalgamated into the Duke Lancasters. There's a lad, loads of Fijians, fucking solid as well.
Yeah.
Rocco, his name is, and he was dead nice guy. And my uncle said, if you see him, tell him, thingy. He's took me under me wing, like, and looked after me. Yeah,
because Dave said,
I'm a new lad.
Yeah, he knows.
As soon as I said his name, he went, oh my God, like, just having a nice thing. He looked after me, but like he got shot in the shoulder, but like unfortunately he passed away like on the ground before the helicopter could get to him and all that type of stuff. So that was a weird. What's the word? Weird experience, because when you're getting told by your CO, he's died.
He's not coming back.
You're like, it's like everyone stand down for the day. Do what you got to do mentally side of it.
Because it's a sad day.
And
when shit like that was going on, and like people weren't coming back, people were coming back fucking in bits. Now, like, reality has it, shit has got real.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you getting scared? It's hard because to choose the right words for me, but I'm saying...
Scared's the right word.
Yeah, scared's the right word, mate, yeah. I'm saying... because it sounds silly to say you're getting scared, because obviously you're going to be fucking scared. You're at war and lads are getting blown to bits, so it's hard for me to put into words. Oh. But I'm saying, as the days going by, Tom, yeah, and like more of this shit's happening now, every time you go out, the risk probably isn't getting bigger than it was, but in your fucking mind it is.
It is, yeah.
Because, look, day one, first trip out, none of this shit's happened yet.
No.
But then as the days are passing by, more and more shit's happening. Now the risk's becoming ever more real.
Yeah.
So when that baby we were talking about, who was on the Hercules on the way in, is in a completely different fucking world now.
Different mindset completely.
Yeah.
It's like
shit's changed.
Fucking man up now. Like stop being a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Because
well, you're not. You're probably not. You're in a kid's body, but now your mindset's changing. You are still a kid, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're dealing with all this shit. What's going on, which has made you the man you are today, ultimately. Yeah. But during this period, you've got to try and hold yourself together. You know, and as I said earlier on, like, certain people are made. I've got a cuff and the right cloth to be a soldier, in terms of like to deal with the adversity, deal with the hardship, and like, you know, and to just to pass out as a soldier. Yeah. One thing, but actually going there and seeing and dealing with that shit is another thing. It's a different. There's two different sides to like character, isn't there? You know, like, can you get up early every day and fucking graft your balls off all day, and you know, can we break you? No, I can come through that. But then seeing your mates get blew to bits, because that's what it is, and losing their lives, that's different, isn't it?
Well, on that day, there was another Fijian lad that got killed a bit further up the road, and Taggy, his name was. And he was mates with Rocco as well, and all that type of stuff. So we're all sat in the tent. We're all sat there, and we're all just like, obviously the lads are in bits because they've known him a lot longer than I have, and all that type of stuff. So they've gone through Iraq and all that type of stuff with him and all that. But like, one of the lads had a bottle of shampoo. It wasn't technically a bottle of shampoo, was it? It was a couple of it was a load of whiskey. So we're all sat there.
Shampoo out, lads.
Yeah, just there having a drink, because like the CO even came in and he had one as well. Like,
he said the arg is a swig of the shampoo.
Just to calm you down, because just lay there then going, fucking hell. But I came home shortly after that for 2 weeks. So you have R&R, so like rest and recuperation. So you come home, so you fly out on a Hercules back to Dubai, get on a plane back to Brize Norton.
How long had you been out there at this point?
2.5 months.
The shit you'd seen in 2.5 months there is crazy. Fucking insane.
I came back and a lot of my mates are doing like the A levels in college and all that type of stuff, and like we're going out in the town. Like I spent $2,500 in 2 weeks when I was home.
Getting rat-assed.
As lappies as well as like X in the City in Liverpool, and like just getting blooded. Like I think for the 2 weeks that I was home,
You wanted to just get away from it?
No, it's me mates. Like obviously, a lot of them are 18 now as well, and so it's like, fuck your A levels. I'm home. We're going out.
Yeah.
But obviously they. I didn't say to them like, I'm home. Let's go out and all that. It was their idea to go and do it.
Yeah.
But for 3 nights of that 2 weeks, there was 3 nights I didn't make it out. And I honest to God, mate, I went back and I was sweating this alcohol out of my system. It was bad.
Do you know going back? Now you know what you're going through, and now you know the reality of it. So where it's come full circle now. When I was asking you before, what now you fucking know what you're going through.
Yeah.
A part of you, Tom doesn't want to go back, or how would you feel about that? Was you fucking mad enough to want to go back?
Yeah, because like it's really weird because like when you get shot at, you have this adrenaline that takes over your body. And the first time it's like, oh shit, like we've just been shot at, like, you're scared. And next minute it's like,
do you like it?
Fucking let's go.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's go again, yeah. And just unloading rounds into nothing, trying to find something.
It's an adrenaline rush, so you sort of like, that becomes addictive where you want that feeling again, because there's nothing.
Sounds bad though, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
you think
but
about
there's
it.
nothing else that measures up to that, is there?
No,
like,
not, is there? Jumping out of a plane, probably.
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
I'm saying, like, there's levels to, so you coming back here, it's like you're waiting for that next, that thrill, that boost, that feeling again.
The 2 weeks that I was home, me mum and dad were away on holiday for one of the weeks. So I had a free house, so that was good. But obviously they would have been gutted like that. They didn't get to see me as much as they want. But I'm probably sure, like, me dad and me mum and my sister. My sister was what? I think she was 14, 15. So I think they would say they probably saw a little different side to me.
You close to your sister?
Oh, 100%, yeah. She's like me busy, mate. I'll talk to anything. I'll go through everything with my sister.
Yeah.
And all that. Like, she's a strong kid.
Yeah.
For the shit that she's been through and seen, and which we'll get onto in a bit. Like, but yeah. So like I say, you've obviously gone back, and then like, so 10th of July. Obviously, we've gone out to do an operation. So, got into what they call a bazaar, right? Which is just a little shopping centre. Yeah. That's all it is. Like, like where you can buy your ciggies and all that, which was good because I was like, right, give me 20 fags. Like, we sat here for a bit. But like, there was Apache helicopters in the sky circling us, and it was a big operation, this, and we were stopping people from going into the town, like, fuck off. Like, we're getting some information and all this. And then there was a load of rounds kicking off. And like, I was sat against the wall like this. I'm talking to me corporal, and next minute around it's like above, and all the dust kicks down, and I'm like, what the fucking hell was that? And it was one of our own persons a bit further down. And I'm like, shit kicked off after that, like, because he saw. Should have seen the uniform, really, because we're all dressed the same. Like, it's different. So that was kind of like, that was really close. It's like, that's just above your head.
Yeah.
And obviously you've seen the picture, what I sent to you the other day. And then that picture was taken by one of my mates and just sat there chilling out, like waiting for it and all that.
Is this the day of the accident, Tom?
Yeah.
So walk me through the day of the accident.
Okay.
When you woke up in the morning, sleeping arrangements, what was that like? Was you sleeping in this place where you're actually physically staying now? You're staying in beds, you're camping, what's the score like?
So we got dropped off by like the Mastiffs, and I mean, this is early morning now, so like we've got up from Follard, got in the Mastiffs, drove to where we need to be, and got out and that, and obviously seeing some of my mates that I've not seen for a while and all that, I'm chatting away and whatever, and it's like, right, going to a tent, this is what we're doing, we're going into it, we're getting some information, we're trying to find faces, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. Right, okay, obviously stop people coming in, like physically, if they're on scooters, because there's a lot of mopeds and stuff like that.
he is looking for, when you said we're trying to find faces, are you showing certain faces? Tom, are they saying to you, this is blah, 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 blah? And if you see him, if this is, so like, you know what you're looking for.
It's weird. They have this system where it's like a camera, but it's a fingerprint scanner. So if, like, there was, just go back to Falad, there was a time where we found what was to be an AK-47 on this guy in this house. So we've arrested him, blindfolded him and all that type of stuff and took him back to base. Didn't know where he went the next morning because it was the Afghan army that took him. Don't know where he went.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the river somewhere. Like, I can guarantee it right now because they're dodgy bastards, them.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we never had an issue with him.
Yeah, but...
Dodgy. They take over. Like, we're just there to help.
Yeah, but if they come in and say, listen, we're taking him, can you say no?
No, no.
No, but he's going with them.
Yeah, well, we don't know where he went. Put in the ground somewhere.
So, if you've got intelligence on, say, certain people, yeah, if you've seen them people, they're getting captured and basically, they're getting...
We zip tie their hands behind the back and then put a blindfold over their head, like basically a bag. And then, obviously, we walk them back to base and stuff like that.
Did you have much of that?
A couple of times.
And what were they like to deal with? Would you be just taking them back and they were all right, or would they be trying to kick off and that?
No. You got to remember, like, there's 20 lads around with rifles pointing at them, like, they're not asked. Fine, just take it, fine. But like, so we're at the bazaar and stuff, trying to get information and and all that type of stuff, and obviously stopping people from coming in. And if people are coming in and they're having a bit mouthy, take a picture of them, fingerprint scan them, just in case. Might not be, but I mean, if we can try and get a name to it, then they will. Like I said, that was it. There wasn't much to it. It was just that it was a show of force, if anything.
Yeah, this is what we've got.
The Apache helicopter was shooting at something though, and it's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's like, like the chain guns.
Yeah,
it's that, mate. It's amazing. Sat there like, this is mint. But like I say, and that was it. We're just like, fine, right, okay, let's go back to base. And that was it. Just walking back in and like walking along like with my rifle. And
what time was it?
It's about 11. Must have been about 11, It was about 11 o'clock. I mean, it was getting a bit warmer, so you can kind of tell. We're around about
time,
2 to 12, 12 to 2.
The hottest.
That's the hottest bit. They want us to get back in as quick as possible. So I'm walking along. And there's like, the road goes up like that and then down. So me mate stopped to take a knee and I was about to thingy, but and then like, I looked over to the other side and I thought, it's a bit dodgy that. Like, like conifer trees, things like that, but it's dead dark. I thought that'd be an ideal place to shoot from if you're going to get a thingy. And next minute, I didn't even hear a gunshot. Didn't hear nothing. I just felt this eruption in my body. And I fucking screamed. So like basically it's gone bang like that, like an earthquake. And I've just gone hit the floor. Because obviously it's hit my spine, the bullet, and it's come out the other side. And I fucking hit the ground. Obviously screamed because obviously I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it's all kicked off. But I'm there like that, fucking like obviously in shock. Don't know what the fuck's going on. Medics have ran over to us. And like basically took my body armour off. But when I was saying to you before, the body armour wasn't my body armour. It was one of my mates that got shot in the shoulder and I had to give him a body armour. So I gave him mine, which had side plates. So they had front, back, side plates. This one didn't. It had front and back.
The Fiji guy?
No, it was another lad. He was on the Sangha and I think a sniper shot him in the shoulder and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And his was just, it was blown to bits. So like I went, there you go, there's mine. Take it, we got some more. So it was different from the one I had.
If you would have had the one you had,
it probably would have bounced off, probably. And it would have been all right. But then that's the thing, you got to look at the small margins, change everything, don't they?
Weren't meant. Wasn't for some reason, lad. I know you can't see that, but no one knows why. But would it have bounced off and you would have walked another 5 meters down the road and one would have landed somewhere else in the neck?
I don't know if he's just gone fuck off and sprayed everyone and that, but
either which way, you're still here today to tell the tale. Exactly. And that for some reason that was meant to be.
So go on.
So
obviously the bullet's gone in and they've took my body armour off and like my exit wound is here, right? So it's gone in this side here, bounced off me vertebrae, and the vertebrae's gone into my spinal cord, and that's what's cut it, and I've gone bang. Landed on my elbow, and to the point where my fingers and my nerves are like that. And because I was 9 stone then, right, not anymore. And obviously all the weight that I was carrying, I've smashed onto my elbow and stuff. But they found that bit first, the exit. The exit wound, and they've patched that up as best they can, and they've gone and he's gone to put the bandage round, and he's gone, shit, we've got an entry wound, so they've sorted that out. And lay there, and they jabbed me with morphine to keep me going, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I thought, fucking hell,
Did you think you were gonna die?
100%, mate.
What's going through your mind, son?
Well, they were moving me out the way, so behind a tree, so they could sort me out properly. Because obviously they've patched that bit up, morphine me. And I'm like, look, I can't feel my legs. I don't know what's going on. One of my mate, Michael Broughton, he was saying to the medic, like, he can't feel his leg. And he's like, it's all right. It's shock. Some medic he was.
Maybe he fucking knew that, but maybe he just didn't want to tell him.
Yeah. But I'm lay there and I'm waiting for this helicopter to come and get me, and all my mates are like, oh, fucking hell, you knew you get off early and all that, blah, 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 blah. And like, they give me some water and stuff like that. I'm just spitting it up, throwing it up and all that type of stuff. Because didn't realise that it took me right kidney out completely. So I'm throwing up like piss and shit like that. It's like bile and stuff like that. And then the helicopters got me. They fucking jabbed me with some more morphine. And I just remember we mate, again, he's a Scouser. He's like
always a fucking.
I know. No, he's kissed us off my forehead and like grabbed my hand, and he's got off, and that was it. That's all I remember. But I remember lay there going, this is game over. This.
When the lads are all there, not saying I knew you'd get off early and that, it just makes me want to cry when I hear that story, because really it's a load of the boys all together and you all love each other, lad, and you're just trying to just keep you going because you're in this situation.
They know it's serious.
Yeah, they know it's serious, and they think they're fucking scared. They're thinking he's gonna die. Yeah. And obviously, maybe that medic did know what the situation was, but he just didn't want to fucking say.
He probably did. But like I say, obviously, it is until you get back to surgery and that.
Do you know now, right? Not like trying to like fucking fill you with like thoughts of regret at the time, but when it actually happened, and like you said, like you felt like that explosion go through you, like that eruption go through your body, and like bang, you fell to the floor at that moment in time. So when you're looking up at the fucking sky and you're in the middle of the desert, are you thinking to yourself like, what have I done? Like is them told like, now it's like shit, because you know what, there's that's what I wanted to touch on with you. Like, it won't be me. We always say that, don't we? You hear stories, you hear shit, and it's always, you always say, don't you don't say it. Right. I'll be all right. It won't be me. But guess what?
So you put that into your mind because to try and settle you. Yeah. But like I say, you lay there. I didn't have any. I don't have any regrets whatsoever. None at all. And obviously, we'll get on to other things. But like, I'm lay there going, I'm not going to see my mum and dad. I'm not going to see my granddad and my nan. I'm not going to see my sister.
Your life's just flashing before your eyes.
I'm not going to see my mates. It's weird because, when they say like you see a white light.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Like everything rushes through your mind. It was. I don't know if it was the morphine. It probably was, but like. It's like something being in a film and it's gone from being a kid to like now, and then you lay there and then that was it.
Your whole life's all there.
And it's like clicked off and then you're gone because they obviously jabbed you with morphine and stuff like that, and you're out of it.
Getting airlifted out.
Yeah. So I got airlifted back to Camp Bastion to get to surgery and stuff like that. So I've got a big fucking scar going down the middle of my body where they've opened me up to get into me kidney and sort all that out. My liver was in half. Left kidney was damaged, but they've saved that. But as I got onto the table, my spleen ruptured. So obviously you would have just drowned from the inside out and all that type of stuff. So you obviously don't really need your spleen, but like if it ruptures, like you need to get it out as quick as possible. So I've still got my belly button, so they've done all right with that. Like, 'cause normally lads just go fuck off.
Yeah.
So obviously I've got a big scar going down there. Obviously they've patched me up and all that type of stuff. And then because there was so much pressure building in my spine where your spinal cord comes down and then your vertebrae come out like that. And that's digged into my spinal cord and there's so much pressure. You can't send me home like that.
Yeah. Do you know the medical care out there, like the setup? What was it like? Was it good?
I was out of it. But I have a lot of respect for them.
Did you see any of the other lot? Had you been there anywhere near there before? Or because of the situation, you're just infancy, you'd never ever fucking been there before, so you hadn't seen what the setup was?
Imagine like a proper hospital. That's where I would imagine it like. Like surgeons, proper like, you know,
they weren't just take you in, throw you on a table, fucking
decent surgeons. But then they sent me to Kandahar Air Base, which where the Americans are. And they had a top spinal surgeon there that's cut me down the back. It's got another fucking scar going down my back. And he's decompressed my spine and sorted all that out. And then I've gone home. But so the point of being shot, so it took 60 minutes to get from the point of being shot back to Camp Bastion, which is quick. But then to get home, so surgery, Camp Bastion, Kandahar, flying to Akrotiri, which is Cyprus, and then from Cyprus onto a normal plane, which goes to Birmingham, 24 hours. Quick. Very quick, yeah.
Wow, bang, no messing around.
I've got diaries from like the air people saying like, oh, like you gutted, you're asleep, there's loads of strippers on the plane and all that, blah, blah, you know, all this type of stuff, which is amazing looking back at. But obviously at that point, like my mum and dad now know about it. So my dad's got a knock at the door. Now this was like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever it is. Knocks on the door and I was open the door like, and he's then gone like, there's the police officer, 2 police officers, a female, male, and a guy from the army. And you Mr. Colridge? Yeah. What's happened? And he's like, oh, like, you know, your son's been injured, blah, 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 blah. My dad's rang me mum, who was at the doctors with our Katie.
Strange.
Bombed it back as quick as she could and all that. So obviously, so there's lots of tears going about and all that type of stuff. They went, look, we don't know what his condition, but we just know it's very serious. So you need to pack your bags, pack your shit. We're going to Birmingham now. We're going now. We need to sort your stuff out. But my dad was just, I don't really speak about it as much anymore, but I know my dad, we're having a pint like just after COVID, and he blames himself because he said to me, pros and cons. And I said to him, don't be fucking stupid. He's either that, and he signed the form saying, yeah, go in the army. But it was either that or I waited till I was 18, I was going in anyway.
Mate, I've got 3 boys now, yeah. And I tell you now, that's what you do for your kids. Like, you support them with what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he knew you wanted to do it, and he was just trying to do the right thing by you as well. Because at the end of the day, Tom, you see shit that's going on in the streets now, lad. You could have not went in the army, and something worse could have happened to you. Exactly. And as I said to you before, sometimes you can't see the reason why things happen. Like, maybe it was better for you to not have that armour on, because as I said, would you have got another 5-10 metres further, and that bullet wouldn't have been in your side, would it have been in the neck? Mightn't have been here.
I was about to take a knee.
To tell the story, you just don't know, because none of us know what fate's got in store for us, and whatever reason that happened to you, fate's funny.
Yeah, it's weird.
That was supposed to happen. Of course
it was. Yeah, and I don't blame him for it at all. I said to him, "You fucking stupid! Like, don't be stupid like that." It's either I was going to go in at 18 anyway, because that's my decision then. Mm-hmm. So like, either then I would have probably had a go at you for not letting me go in, and you know all that type of stuff. So like, there's obviously all these knock-on effects, but like, and then obviously they went to Birmingham. Let's say they went down to Birmingham and stuff like that, and I was out of it for like 4 weeks. I was in like an induced coma. I was on dialysis, life support, you name it. I had everything in me, and I think at this point, I think our Katie went home for the weekend because she was doing the GCSEs as well. So like, the school was really good with her because they went, fuck your GCSEs, this is more important. And like they got taken into a room. So they were staying at this hotel, and the army were dead good with them. They were giving them loads of food, whatever they wanted and all that. But my dad started smoking again because obviously he was stressed, obviously, which you're going to do. Yeah.
Do you know what as well? Like, you know, your daily shit, when there's times like that, it just makes you realise, like, we worry about trivial shit, man. Stuff that's just not really important at all.
Yeah.
And it's times like that, like, just brings it home to you, like, what is important? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, as you said, they started smoking. You know that, start. You just like, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's their fault started smoking anyway. But no, like I say, they got taken into a room and they went, look, just give your heads up. He's not doing well on his life support. He's not breathing properly. Blah, 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 blah. Just be prepared for a phone call maybe later on if he passes away in the night. So, I mean, mum and dad obviously didn't fucking sleep at all, as you can imagine. And they come back in the next day and I've got me, the thing that was breathing for me, that's been taken out and I'm fine. And dad was like, you fucking little shit. Like, I had a sleepless night and he's looking at me going, I fucking hate you. And he always says it, like, he said, hey, when you put me through hell that night. And I was like, well, I'm here, aren't I? But
can you remember any of that, Tom?
No, don't remember not. I have, because I was on so much drugs, as you can imagine, like...
The last thing you remember was the last jab of morphine.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that was good as well at the time in terms of if they put you to sleep so you weren't going through all what was going on in the helicopter and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think anyway, because if you're asleep, you're not moving about and all that type of stuff. You're not trying to fucking fight people and trying to move about. You want to be as still as possible. But there was... Yeah, it was arcade. Basically, they were trying to wean me away and trying to wake me up out of this induced coma. And I've woken up. I was speaking to my dad about it before because I don't remember any of this. I woke up and I've ripped all my lines out my arms, out my neck, and all that type of stuff. There's blood everywhere. I'm not meant to be sat up at all. My dad's trying to hold me down, and he was like it's like superhuman strength. And I'm like, but I've woken up to, it sounds so bad, I've woken up to a foreign doctor. And
after all what you've been through,
I thought I got captured. So I'm just there windmilling people, trying to, honest to God, I was trying to fight people. I went, I'll fucking kill you, to this doctor and all that type of stuff. I had to apologise when I woke up properly. My mum said, you need to apologise to him. But I was like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging kind of thing. My dad was like, right, put him back to sleep, will you? So he put him back to sleep, and then obviously I've come round and then I've woken up properly and I'm gone, oh yeah, you all right?
Nothing's happened.
Who won the World Cup? That's exactly what I said, because that's all I was bothered about. I got shot the day before the World Cup final, and obviously it was like Spain, Netherlands or something like that, and I was like my dad was like, yeah, Spain, why? You all right? I was like, yeah. I got shot. He went, no fucking way, lad. He went, it's 4 weeks later. What are you on about?
Wow.
Because in my mind, I don't remember nothing.
It was 5 minutes.
But on the drugs, I'm looking up on like the little fire alarms that you see on the ceiling and all that. Like, I think they're like spiders, and I have a massive fear of spiders. And I'm thinking they're crawling towards me. They're all over me and all that. I'm like, fucking, some bad stuff I was on. Like, yeah. They gave me ketamine once.
What was that like?
That was weird. that was a weird one. Yeah, it was bad, mate. Like some good stuff as well. But like I say, I was obviously, so I've started coming around and all that type of stuff. And
did the ketamine relax you? Do you think?
Yeah. So when because of my kidney and stuff like that, and my liver, they had to put lines in, and they were basically bags, right, which just filled with piss and bile, which isn't nice. I obviously know, but one of the stitches got stuck inside and they couldn't get it out, and when they were pulling it, and I'm like, fucking, it's a bit sore, so they went, right, we're gonna put you under, we're gonna do this. I was like, all right, you're gonna give me morphine? He went, no, ketamine, yeah, bang, fucking up. It was weird. That was a weird experience. So I'm looking at me, because I had my arm up in the thing and everything, and I'm looking at my mum going, Mum, you look like an alien and stuff like that. It's weird, this stuff, Mum. And she was like, yeah, it's really, really good, isn't it? But at this point though, as I'm waking up, I'm still open here. So imagine cling film wrapped over me to keep my body together. So our Katie, when she see me, I've still got sand in my hair, dust everywhere, and all that's blood all over me, all that type of shit. Literally, when they've arrived, that's when I've arrived, a couple of minutes later. And my sister, the sheet was there, and she could see the bit of me inside of my body and stuff like that.
See inside.
So like I say, I have a lot of respect for our Kate because let's say she's seen a lot of shit as a 14, 15-year-old and all that type of stuff as well.
Similar shit to what you were seeing when you were arriving. She's seen, but that's your flesh and blood as well.
But she's seen other people on that ward just as bad as me and all that. So because all the families are in the same hotel, you start getting to know people.
Yeah.
And all
Is
that.
everyone all fucked in there, Tom, as well? Is the similar situation? Like, I shouldn't use the word fuck, but you know what I mean? Everybody's been through a very traumatic experience. Yeah. On that ward, they're all people in similar situations for different reasons, whether that be the same reason or
there was
other.
Me, you know the lad that I told you got blown up, the two lads?
Yeah.
He was next to me. Coops, so double amputee, brain injury, lost his eye and all that type of stuff. That
same lad you carried?
No, he was at the front. It was Jack Plant. Jack was all right. He only had, he said he was all right. He only had the damage to his legs or anything like that. So all his arms and all that were all right. So he just got shipped straight onto the ward. But there was another lad in there who was a Gurkha, and they're solid. And he was a quadruple amputee, so lost both his arms and both his legs. And our Katie got really close to the family and stuff like that. And when he died, it really affected her because she was like, I've seen all that.
It's bonding. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, but like I say, your rehab starts from there and stuff like that. So, like,
do you know when you come round, Tom? This is a very hard question for me to ask you, but it's something that I've got to sort of ask you. You come round at first, and you woke up and you're like, fucking, what happened with the World Cup and whatever else? You're like on another planet. And then, like, you've gone through all this fucking mad rigmarole. When did you realise the fucking situation? When did you realise? When did you realise you were never going to walk again?
When I woke up. I knew before I was put under.
Did you?
Yeah.
So when you woke up, dealing with devastation, like, how did you feel? How did you look at it? What was your worldview at that moment in time?
I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be able to walk. I knew straight away, mate. Like when I could hear me mate saying his legs, he can't feel his legs, and I'm saying it as well, and I'm like, something bad's happened here. For me to have an explosion there, so it's something to do with my spine and all that. So I thought, right, it's one of them things, unfortunately. But the more things I was pissed off about is like, I'm not going to be able to play footy again.
Because that's the aftermath, innit? Like, at first you realise, well, I can't walk again, but then now,
like, I think my dad wanted to like hit me at one point because so I finished ICU and like I was all right and stuff like that, and they put me on a ward, and that's when your head starts playing with you. Yeah. So, like he basically, I said like, what's the fucking point? I was having a bad day and it was really, really bad with pain and all that type of stuff. I went, what the fuck is the point in this? Like, just let me go. I'm not asked and all that stuff. So I was thinking like suicide and shit like that.
Did you not want to be there at some point, Tom?
Yeah, it was 100%. Like I've spoken to my mum and dad about it. They know all about it and all that type of stuff. Like there's many a times where I thought, fuck it, this is going to be easier without me. Like, but that's selfish.
It's selfish. It's a very selfish thing, but at the same time, it's a very natural thing. Because obviously I can't speak from experience, and nobody can, because nobody's walked in that situation, in your shoes, and nobody's been in that situation.
Yeah.
But like from the outside looking in, and being a similar age, you know, to you, like, I don't even imagine being in that situation myself. Like, you would feel like that. That's just a fucking natural thing to feel, innit?
I think
it
is,
I mean?
and I just think my dad got a bit pissed off with me because I'm like, the thing that I was really annoyed about was like, well, like, who's gonna want me in a chair? Who's gonna want me like this? Who's gonna love me like this? You know what I mean? Like, am I gonna get a girlfriend? Am I gonna do this and all that type of shit? And you know, thinking back, it was fucking stupid. It is stupid, but like there was, like I say, many times where I thought, fuck it, it's gonna be easier without me. Thinking about like not being able to play football again, that's the one that hurt me the most as well. But like obviously gonna get a girlfriend, am I gonna do this? Am I gonna survive? You know, lots of things have just gone fuck right on top of my head.
God bless you, lad, because you know what, like it's naturally what you're gonna feel, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
go through all that, it's just fucking.
When you think about it, 18, like starting out in life, like, you know.
See, as well, it's what you've came from, Tom, as well. Like, you're not a slob sitting on the couch, are you? You've been a fucking soldier, fit as a fiddle, running around every day.
I won't say fit as a fiddle, I struggled a little bit. I tried to train a little bit, but no, I know what you mean. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, very active, to say the least, and the world literally the world at your feet, and being so young and stuff like that, and you know what I mean, and. You're not thinking like, oh, I'm not going to get a girlfriend. You're not thinking of, and none of that shit goes through your head on a regular basis. You're just thinking like, what am I having for me dinner, or what am I doing here today, or how are you getting through the day? But now your whole landscape's just changed.
Well, I think it stems down to me dad, and as well as me mum, I suppose. But like with me dad, when I was like, used to play footy as a kid and stuff like that, it was like, you strive to be the best, like, and there's not this give up shit. So like, you know, you don't throw a towel. No such word as can't, as my mum and dad used to say. Yeah, that's probably the same with you. But like, so it's this never give up attitude. And like, after that day, I look back in it and you kind of go, right, it's fucking stupid. Like everything will be okay and all that type of shit. But the care at Birmingham Hospital was, in ICU, it was fucking brilliant. Don't get me wrong, they were fantastic. But on the ward, they were shit because they didn't know how to deal with the spinal patient. So I'm lay there, right? So imagine this. So 4 weeks, right? I've not had a shit, right? They've turned me onto my side and gone, put a little bedpan on the screen. Like, go on then, push. What the fuck do you want me to do that? I'm paralysed from the waist down, you dickhead. My mum was a nurse. She was livid, fuming she was. And then they moved me to Southport Spinal Unit. So you're with the same people who've got the same disability as you.
Yeah.
So, but the only downside to that was everyone was a lot older.
Were they there for different fucking reasons?
So
they weren't soldiers.
No, they just like fell down the stairs or something.
Just general people,
yeah. But it was good because, well, in Birmingham Hospital, I developed pressure sore on my sacrum, so being in bed. So that was a grade 4, so you got to put your fist into it on my bum. It was bad, yeah. So I was stuck in bed for a year and a half. So that thingy put me back in my recovery a year and a half, stuff like that. So that was a big knock to your confidence. You know what I mean? That's like, fucking hell, I want to get back to it. I want to, you know what? I'm now 19. I want to try and sort stuff out. So my dad was like, brilliant, and they've sorted me all out, and they've been absolutely fantastic. I can't give them enough credit, but it was that time then. I need to be around the same people as me. That's when I got moved to Headley Court in Surrey. So I've gone from Birmingham to Southport down to Surrey, which BLESMA, which is the British Limbless Ex-Servicemen's Association, were driving me back and two, which obviously give them a shout out because obviously they didn't have to, but they were driving me back and two and all that. But then, like I say, that your recovery starts from there then. So it's like get up, physio, OT, gym, you know, trying to get back to it and all that type of stuff, trying to get a bit of normality back in your life. So, yeah.
So hard to deal with. It's like,
yeah, mentally, yeah. There's so many times though. Sometimes now you kind of go like, not like fuck it. What's the point? It's like if I'm in absolute agony with my legs and my pain and all that type of stuff.
Do you still get pain also?
Yeah. Because the way they described it in the hospital, my spinal cord, like imagine holding wet spaghetti, right? This is what the doctors, quite good at doing it. Cut half it away, that's what you've got left. So my brain's still sending stuff down to my legs.
But it's not fucking there.
It's not there, yeah. So it's like, you need to move your right leg, it's nothing. So, like I say, it's trying to get a bit of normality back in your life and all that type of stuff with your pain, and it is difficult sometimes.
Was it frustrating when you were trying to, like, was there ever a point, do you know, when you did come down, some of these are really hard questions for me to ask you.
Right, like I said to you, there's nothing, put it all on.
When you fucking come around and like they were like, look, you're not going to walk again, blah, 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 and you know, the reality, you're in that situation. Was there ever a time where you were thinking like, I'm going to try and move my legs, or like, did you try?
I can move my leg a little bit.
Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
My man.
Yeah, look, but can't really do that side. That all stems from your hip joint. So that's all I've got. But
but you still can move it a little bit.
I can still move it a little bit, but it's not enough to try and do a Steven Gerrard volley, like, you know what I mean?
Did you try? Like, was you sitting there thinking to yourself, like, trying to move your leg? Like, was that frustrating? Like, obviously it was. Yeah. How did you deal with that, like, frustration inside you? You know what I mean?
I think I accepted it very quick.
I've got so much respect for you, you know, just sitting here next to you now, just looking at you, honest to God, like, seriously, like, I think I'm not just going to even say anyone who I've had on this podcast, I'm going to say probably anybody I've ever met. Like, I've got massive respect for you, man, honestly, because it's not just what you've done, so I'm like,
it's where you've come from and all that shit. Yeah.
Joining the forces and all that, that's an amazing thing. And like, to me, yeah, you're a hero, you know what I mean, to go to war and stuff like that and to do that, because I tell you now, there's not many people out there who do what you've done. Yeah. But I tell you now, to deal with what you've dealt with is more than what you've done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Kudos to you, brother.
I have a lot of thingy from my mum and dad though as well. I mean, and I suppose our Katie, because like, to hold it all together.
Your family, like, that was one of the massive things in my mind coming in to do this podcast with you. Like, your family are a massive thing to you, but you're a massive thing to them. And you know what you've been through. It's like, it's your battle and it's your story. Yeah. But they've got a story to tell as well, because they've had to deal with it all. And, you know, being there and like how to watch you go through that, and then to see you deal with what you've dealt with. And that,
I don't know how they kept it together, mate. You think about it, like, your son's just been like shot and stuff like that, and then like in your head you're like, fucking hell, there must have been many things going through their minds and stuff like that, but to keep it all together, that's the thing.
When you said to me about your dad before, teaching you how to like play footy and stuff, and you had that never die attitude, and your mum and stuff like that, it made me a little bit emotional, because my lad now, Jared, my eldest lad, he's 9. We're playing footy at the minute. I'm trying to teach him how to play footy. You're not the greatest. But,
it's not Darwin Núñez yet.
Not yet. And, you know, like, I'm like, run to that 3 lad, and I'll time him running back and all that, right? And we're at it every day and that. And like, obviously your dad, he would have put work in with you, like, and loved you the way I love my son. And then to see you in that situation, knowing that when you come round, what you've got to face, when he already knew that, that must be so much for them to deal with, Tom. And like, for them to have dealt with that, which they obviously must have done, that takes some character.
It fucking does, mate, yeah. Like you say, he, like I say, just to keep it together, and because you got to remember, like, me nan and granddad and our Katie, so they've got a daughter as well that they've got to at least pay attention to and stuff like that, and look after her as well at the same time. And obviously she's more concerned about me than she is herself and all that. But I think mentally side of it, to be honest, we don't really speak about it. It's one of them unwritten rules.
Yeah, because like, obviously it's like that thing in the house, innit? You know what I mean? It's like, I could imagine. That's why it's sort of hard for me to sit here and ask you these questions, because I don't want to be unearthing things, and it's like, but obviously you're here to tell your story, so I want to sort of get the story. Yeah. There's no point in me sitting here and sort of beating around the bush and not.
No, not a chance.
But at the same time, it's like, I could imagine that's the elephant in the room at home, because it's like something you don't talk about. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I know myself, like, if someone dies in the family, if your nan dies, you don't say to your granddad, like, you don't mention it, do you? It's like you do at the time, and then after like a certain period of time, your family say, don't say that, or whatever, you know what I mean? We don't forget about it, but it's fucking very present, it's there, but you just don't talk about it.
Yeah, like I say, they got, like I say, so much respect for him. Like I said, they were proud to see that I was coming on to tell this. Yeah, but don't forget to give me a quick mention.
Shout out.
Go on, Gaz.
Go on, Gaz, man.
No, but he's like I say,
what a man. Do you know what? Seriously, like, so much respect to your parents, your sister, like, and what an amazing family unit. And at least you've got that around you
very,
as well.
Very close. I mean, we're not a massive family though.
But you know what though? That's what I was about to say. It doesn't need to be big. But it's what's around you. And you know what, Tom? Just another thing that I need to touch on with you quickly. When I said to you, like, your reason for joining the army, a lot of lads join the army because they haven't got a place in, not they haven't got a place in society, but they might have come from a shit background. So like, they want to get away from that.
Yeah.
Or they want to be something, or you want to feel a part of something. Yeah. A lot of people don't join up to go, I want to fight for my country. They join up for their own personal reasons. And fighting for your country is a byproduct of that. Do you know what I mean? Now, some of them lads who do to join the army, and imagine shit like that happening to you, and you're coming home and you've got no one fucking around you, lad. I know. You're in a shit situation.
I mean,
thank God for your family, innit?
My upbringing was absolutely fine. There was there's no issues or anything like that, and you know, it wasn't one of them where like I'm going to, you know, obviously you want to be something, but you know you're not trying to prove anything to anyone or anything like that. But it was up to me, really. Like I say, but they signed the paperwork, so I think that's why he has a lot of thingy to it. And I told him just like, shut the fuck up, Dad. Like,
either which way I would have been going myself.
12 years ago now. So like, you know, there's a lot of things have changed, and you know, there's things have happened recently and stuff like that. So like, you know, I've got married in 2018 and met my missus in 2016.
Congratulations, man.
And I've got a baby on the way.
Wow. Yes,
little baby boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
When's she due?
End of March, beginning of April. Yeah. So you think about it, I've gone through all that fucking shit. Got a missus, which I was dead worried about anyway. And now having a baby and stuff like that. And obviously got a job and all that type of stuff. But like I say, that was the final piece of my puzzle.
At the time, Tom, when you come around in the hospital, did you think all that was over?
Yeah. 100%, mate.
You're never going to have a missus again. You're never going to be able to have a baby again. Do you know what I mean? Well, a baby again. You're never going to be able to have a baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're never going to have a girlfriend. You're never going to have a baby because you're so early on in life. Yeah. It's like all them things in your mind at that time's being taken away from you. And that's why I just cannot get over how you dealt with that. That's just fucking amazing. And to go through all that and get there now.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. I don't know. It's a lot of people say to me like, I don't understand how you can be so positive and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what's the fucking point in dwelling on things? Like, you better, like, that's my past now. That's my past. This is my present.
Without being cheesy and like one of them for fucking Instagram. If you had a message to anybody dealing with a similar situation to what you've been in, now, presently, they're there now, or dealing with severe adversity, what would your message be to someone like that? If you could help them, Tom, to send them a message,
I think the way of dealing with it, people are very different, whereas people probably aren't as positive as I am now. I'll be honest with you, mate, 12 years ago, I wouldn't be sat here now. I wasn't that confident. Wasn't this confident when I was a kid. That's all. I was quite quiet and stuff like that, which is quite weird now. Yeah. But obviously, I think everybody's different, and the way you're dealing with things, it's really hard. So if they're in the same position as me, I just think, you know, you've just got to get on with things. Things as a way of dealing with things. Like there's always something there's always someone worse off than you. That's what I feel anyway, and there always is.
Like you said before, that other lad had his 2 legs and his 2 arms blown off, lad.
Exactly, and he's lay there in hospital. He was there for 2 years in hospital. Like,
it's very, very hard to look at something like that as well, innit? So I'm like, because it's your problem, so you don't give a fuck about him at the time. Like,
it sounds shit. It sounds horrible, so bad, but yeah, like, you're right.
You know, if you're honest, if anyone out there watching this was truly honest, he might say that's a horrible thing he's just said. No, but it's true, and that's what this is about.
Going on your head.
You're like, look, yeah, he might have had it, but that's not me. This is me, and this is my situation. And we're all like that. We're all self-centered to the core when it comes to something like that. And I've said it before, but it blows me mind how you've dealt with it, and I think it's pretty amazing, and it's inspiring as well, because another thing I wanted to touch on with you is there's a massive thing out now for men's mental health. There's so many men who are suffering out there from mental health issues. But this could come across wrong, and I don't want this to be misconstrued. So when I say this, fucking look at the likes of yourself and realise, as you said, man the fuck up. You know, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and I'm not saying that men's mental health isn't real, because it is.
It is.
It's fucking really real.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who, you know, we're having first world problems, should this be like. There's bigger shit going on in the world. So if you're waking up in the morning and you're fucking feeling under the weather, and you're like, get out and do something about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And try and change your mind frame, try and change your outlook. And everyone's situation and story is different. But I'm saying, like, there's people who are suffering with depression, anxiety, all this shit.
Real depression, real anxiety.
When I look at the likes of you, I think to come through what you've come through, lad, and to be sitting here today like that, you're a credit to yourself and you're a credit to your family. But there's other people should look to you, like the likes of myself and any other men who are out there, and think, if he can do that and deal with that, man, fuck me, I haven't got no problems.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because how positive I am, and like you say, there's no point in dwelling on the past at all. There's no fucking point, because that's there now. I'm here. Like, this is what I've got going on in a minute. I'm working.
What do you do for a living?
So I started 9 years ago, placing Warrington Disability Partnership, and it was more like the admin side of it and all that type of stuff. But now I'm like on the sales side of, like, you know, like wheelchairs, scooters, chairs, and all that type of stuff on Brunswick Dock. So if you know. Need anything, give us a shout.
If you want a wheelchair,
yeah, exactly, know where to come. But yeah, like I say, I've been doing that for years now. And like I say,
what's the company called you work for? Do you want to give them a little shout out? So
it's Warrington Disability Partnership, but the trade inside of it is Disability Trading Company. Yeah. And they're based on Brunswick Dock, on Brunswick Business Park there. That's what I am. So if anyone needs anything, you know what I am. Internet, have a look. I've got the number there. But no, I think, like I say, I've been doing that for ages. And again, when I started, I was so quiet. I don't know how you fucking use a computer and Excel and all that shit. I got no idea. And now, like, I'm a whiz. I'm putting stuff on the new website and all that type of stuff, you know, and all that. Yeah. And obviously, speaking to customers, like I'm speaking to you now, just dead open, because obviously someone always asks, how did you end up in your chair? And depending on how they are, sometimes I'll blag it.
Have a bit of fun with them.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if they're being, it depends on the person, to be honest. If I can't be arsed telling them and all that type of stuff, I'll just say something random. But like, most of the time, it's the older like your nan's age going, how did you end up in your chair and all that? And you tell them, like, oh my God, you know, you're a lovely lad. I was like, well, of course, yeah.
It's a brave question to ask, because it's a lot of people would be scared to fucking ask a question like that, lad. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
The older ones are the best, because I mean, I've gone into schools, done talks, all that type of stuff. You know,
Have you done stuff like that? Yeah. When's it?
So it did when we were doing it in Warrington. Went to so many schools, 1,600 kids. Spoke to, doing stories, showing pictures, you know, telling them, not going into raw detail like we are now and all that type of stuff, but like just saying, you know, ex-army, all that type of stuff and whatever. But like I say, they love it. They come out with some belting questions.
Yeah, kids do.
Yeah, they just
kids
straight up.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. They don't beat around the bush. They just come and they ask you. Yeah. And the minds go different places, and because they're innocent, they just come with it. If you had a message, would you have a message, Tom, to anybody young looking to join the armed forces?
Yeah. If you are going to do it, which I'm not against anyone joining, it's entirely up to them, and I'm not going to stop anyone, but do it something with a trade. So when you come, like my mates who I've served with, 2 of them have come out. I don't even know where one of them is. I just know one of them's in Warrington as well. Don't know what he's doing. One of my other mates so my close knit mates that I've grown up with and all that type of stuff, I think it was like 4 of them joined the army after I got injured. So like that was quite brave of them to do that. But they've come out and they've not got, and the infantry, so they don't know what to do. don't know where to go with it.
They haven't got a path in life.
So you're going to do it, join like the engineers. So when you come out, you're fucking sorted. So like, if you're going to do that, do it that way. 100%.
What was the aftercare like with the army?
All right, you know. Probably,
Was it?
Yeah, so when I started coming home from Headley Court, where I was living in Warrington, it wasn't accessible and stuff like that, so they made it accessible. But my dad went, look, just buy a house. Like, buy a house, new build, they're going to adapt it around you and all that type of stuff. And we did. So David Wilson Homes, Warrington OTs, and an OT from down at Headley Court, we've all got together, gone, this is what we need, blah, 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 blah. And they built it around me, which is absolutely perfect. And it's, obviously I'm still there now and probably wouldn't ever leave because it's getting to, it's always been my home, but it's getting even better now with obviously me missus and obviously the bump, which, like I say, my family are buzzing about that, but
I'm buzzing for you, mate.
I know, I'm scared, like, you know, I'm definitely scared.
Mate, after all you've done, been through and seen, you've got fuck all to be scared.
I know it's weird though, for Fanny Anna. But no, like I say, they've been brilliant. They have, like, they've sorted me out, like they've sorted wheelchairs out for me. If I ever need anything, I can always ring Blesma, which is obviously, like I said before, probably wouldn't ring out for heroes, but ABF, Army Benevolent Fund, and SAFA, which obviously...
And are they all there on hand to help you, Tom?
Yeah, so when I was down at Headley Court, me dad, me mum and my sister, like, so when people were coming down, they had this fucking mansion. SAFA bought this mansion. It's like Millionaire's Row. It was massive house. It had a tennis court at the back and everything. It was amazing. But they had so many different rooms. They had lifts and everything else. So if the families are coming down, they put like £1 in. And you can stay there for like, if you're not, like for the weekend and stuff like that. So it was belting. So, and then obviously I'm staying in the same room as like my dad and stuff like that. So like, you know what I mean? So you can go out for the pint and stuff like that as well. Yeah. But like I say, that was nice. So like SAFA were belting with that. Like I said, they're always there if I need anything. I can always give someone a ring.
Adapting to life in a wheelchair, Tom, was that very, 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 very hard? From obviously being mobile, fully mobile and that, like when you said there, when you came home and it weren't like set up for you and shit, stuff you don't really think about, innit? Could you drive before you had the accident?
No.
So you can drive now, can't you?
Yeah.
So I was going to say, because that would have been different because you would have had to adapt, but obviously the way you drive now is the way you've always known.
Always known. Well, I have drove a car, but it probably wasn't legal. It's just keep it quiet. Yeah, so like I say, that was the first time I've drove a car properly. But I did a couple of lessons before I joined the army and stuff.
Yeah, so you had drove, but this was different.
Yeah, so obviously automatic, and obviously it's a push-pull accelerator, so I pull to go, push to stop. It's like a big fucking go-kart, to be honest. That's all it is. It's dead easy to drive. But like adapting around like the wheelchair and stuff, so like they've had to make the doorways a little bit wider because of the wheels and all that type of stuff as well, which is fine, doesn't matter. But trying to go out, like pushing on like the pavements and stuff like that, it's dead different because obviously they're so uneven as well, so you got to try and adapt yourself. Like they did wheelchair skills
you
with us.
Have arms like a Trojan now, lad. I'm looking at them going
fucking bingo wings, more like. No, they taught us like wheelchair skills, so how to get up and down stairs and stuff like that. So I've done that, which is like that's mega. Going up and down escalators, that was good.
Wow.
So I went to Twickenham to watch the Army Navy game, rugby. I mean, it was just a piss up really, but like we've gone and my mate was gone, let's go Covent Garden. I was like, don't know where that is, so I'll just follow you. Yeah. He's on an amputee and he's in a wheelchair as well, so he's like pushing and all that, and he's gone, fuck this, let's get off here. I'm like, don't know where we are. In London somewhere, and he goes, I need a piss, and I'm like, this escalator, you've seen the escalators in the underground? Yeah, it's like fucking hell, massive.
It's busy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not too bad at like midnight. But, like, so I've got hold of the escalator, and I've got hold of him, and he's like, how the fuck do you know this? And I've learned that you dickhead, you should know this yourself. I like got out, and it was like, right, let's get a taxi. Like 400 quid later, back to Essex, back to Surrey. Yeah, it was expensive. But yeah, like I say, I don't know, your family adapt around you. You know, there's certain things that you can do and all that type of stuff in the wheelchair. Like,
did it make a difference being around other people that were in similar situations to you, Tom? So obviously having mates who were in wheelchairs, having other lads in the forces who'd had fucking terrible accidents, tragic things that happened to them. They've been and seen similar shit to you, and to be in and around them type of people, because like obviously if it makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah, like I say, so like when we were down like Edley Court and stuff like that, we were with some of the new bits, and like we sat there in like the wheelchairs and all that type of stuff. So there's loads of wheelchairs. There was loads of people in wheelchairs and stuff like that. So you know certain people and you know your mates and all that type of stuff. So like trying to go up to the naffy to go and have a few jars, like that was mega, because it was like a conga train fucking coming back. Like we were trying to go up this hill and like we're all holding on to each other, fucking pushing up like seven dwarfs going up thing, if anything. But like I say, like then like a few lads falling out and all that type of stuff. Like it's just you don't know, you're all mates and all that type of stuff. So they all know.
Did you feel when you were still there, like Headley Court and that, Tom, did you still feel a part of the army then very much?
Yeah, but you could see you'd on your way out. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
was that hard to deal with?
No, because I think when you realise that you're going to get medically discharged anyway. Yeah. Because you can't go back in like this.
No, yeah.
Like, you're going to get medically discharged, so you're thinking, right, what I'm going to do on Civvy Street, how am I going to do this and all that type of stuff. So you're just waiting for the right, pack your bags, we'll go. You're going home, kind of thing. So, like I say, it's not hard to accept really, because you've already accepted it in your mind. Like when you first started going down there, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen at some point. Until they're happy with you and the way you are, they won't let you go until then.
Yeah,
but yeah. So you just have to handle it.
Mad question, Barbara.
Go on. Throw it out there. Go on.
If you had the chance, again, Tom, if I could take you back in time and you had the chance to join the army again, would you?
Yeah.
Sick fuck.
Well, you think about it, look. Right, so I would have been a dickhead. I was a dickhead when I was 18 anyway, but I'll still be a dickhead now if I didn't get injured. I've got injured. Life's 10 times better than what it was, right? Which sounds really bad on my mum and dad's part. It's not about that. It's just that I'm happy in life. You know, like I say, I've got all this stuff that's about to fucking come at real. So, yeah, 100%, mate. I'd 100% take a bullet again to do that. It's weird. It sounds so weird, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I can understand what you're saying because I've heard the story and because I know where you are. I can understand what you're saying. And I want to just say, like, a massive thank you for coming on. A massive thank you for sharing the story.
No problem.
And for sharing it so well and in so much detail. And, you know, you haven't held back on anything. You know, vastly you've answered.
Yeah. Got to, and as I said to you, everything on the table, it's absolutely fine. Like I've had questions where like it sounds so bad, like, but they had questions going like, oh, you know, does your things still work and stuff like that, and I'm like, what a fucking weird question to ask someone, like not from like just a random stranger, and I'm like, it's a bit fucking, I don't even know yet. But I was like, yeah, it does, all right. Thanks. But like I say, just things like that. Like I've had a kid say, if I stabbed you in the leg now, would it hurt? I went, yeah, fucking probably. I'll deck it as well if you did that. But yeah,
is there any feeling there, Tom? If you're touching your leg now, if I touch your leg now, can you feel it?
If I was to knock it, like if I was to knock it on the door going out, like it was like you count to 3 and then that's when you start feeling things. So you feel like a bit of a bump.
Wow.
But if you had
the lazy action.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously it takes time to get to the brain.
Yeah.
But if you had a warm plate now and I had it on my lap, I feel it in like the thigh area. I could feel the warmth. Feel it.
So there's certain areas where there's still feeling.
I mean, feet, you got no chance.
Yeah,
no chance. It's their thing in there now.
The further down, the worse it is. Yeah,
it's quite a funny thing.
The message doesn't go as far to your feet.
No, but like there's a funny thing. So when we went on holiday, to Dominican, me and my missus, and because I'm quite big up here, right? Right, cheers, mate. It's on the back, he's out. But I've got a pair of shorts on and no top on, and my missus went, "You look like an half-rolled toothpaste, you know." And I went, "What?" She went, "Yeah, like dead thin down the top, all the fucking top up here and all that." It's like you've been run over by a tank or something. I went, "Fucking hell, it's coming from me missus as well." But no, like you say, you can have a joke about things.
You've got it.
Like, and
keeps you going, man.
Yeah, like it's different. Like if a random stranger said something, that's different.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
You know what I mean? You start getting to thinking.
Yeah.
But like if your mates and all that, like your mates
there's a lot of banter. Banter's banter, man. You've got to have it, and if you never, if they never done shit like that, it weird you out.
Yeah. Well, when I got married, I had me mate Dan and Dan as my best men, right? And they're fucking hilarious. And the best man speech is amazing.
I'm going to be a best man at a wedding this Saturday. So Dan and Dan, if you fucking then again,
I'll send it you later.
I need a touch here, man.
It's class, mate. You know. But they were like Gary was in charge of Crossfields when we was a kid, so obviously Tom got picked. Looks like he's not getting picked anymore. Like, you know, like certain things. But the thing is, like they were saying, like I ruined their holiday. So when I got injured, my dad rang Dan, it was at a different place, and other Dan, it was at a different place, and they've gone, and my other mates as well, like Rossi and all that type of stuff. He's rang them and gone, like, Tom's injured and stuff like that. They went, right, we're cutting the holiday short, we're going home. So they came home early from their holiday, from like Cyprus or like Iron Apple and all that type of stuff and all that. So
you're always in holiday, boys.
So they were saying like, you've still not fucking apologised for it and all that. Like, we missed the boat party and stuff like that. It's like, fucking hell. But like, they can have a joke about it. They take the piss out of me constantly, which I don't mind.
Keeps you going, man, doesn't it?
Keeps you on your feet, kind of. You know what I mean? Gotta laugh about it.
Yeah, I love your sense of humour.
Yeah, that's right, lad.
Politically, don't really talk politics on here. It's not a place we usually go.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask you this and see what your views were.
Go on.
War's a lot about politics, as we all know. And I said, like, obviously you had your own reason for joining up. It was your granddad who inspired you. But really, effectively, you were fighting for Queen then, now you're king, and country. At the time, or now, would you think it would be worth fighting for your king and country? So I'm like, it's hard for me to put it into words to say, like, you're fighting for this country and the way the country's being ran and stuff like that. And what's going
in the ground at the minute, innit? So,
and that's what you're fighting for?
Well, you got to remember, like, so 12 years ago, everything wasn't too bad. So like with the Queen and stuff like that, I've actually had the chance to meet the Queen and stuff like that as well. So
did you?
Yeah. So when
what was it like meeting the Queen?
She was fucking sound. I made her laugh. We went down to the Arboretum, which is obviously it's a big memorial site and stuff like that. And we unveiled a new statue with a lion that points northwest. So obviously that's where we're based. And the Queen is our Colonel-in-Chief, so she is in charge of the army anyway. Yeah. She's in charge of that regiment as well. So she's come round, and like one of my mates who went to the Invicta Games and and all that type of stuff, he's there. Coops, who was telling you about before, he was there. So chatting away and that, and they go, we know about wheelchair rugby. And I don't know if you've seen it on BBC the other day. It was fucking mega.
I need to have a little look at it.
It's really good, mate. It's class.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it and that, and the guy who was bringing it around, he was a brigadier, and he went, "This is Kingsman Colridge, like, we were just on about like wheelchair rugby and stuff." And she went, "Oh, it looks awfully dangerous." And I was like, "No, ma'am, it's fucking well." I didn't swear off it. She went, "It's well good, you should have a go." And she started laughing. I was like, "Fucking get it." And like even the brigadier laughed and went, made her laugh, well done. Like, she don't normally laugh, fucking sad. But she was lovely. She spoke to us for ages. And then fucked off and then like had a couple of minutes with everyone else. But for her, like, I know there's like the royalists and all that type of stuff. I'm not a royalist, but the Queen was lovely. Yeah. I had the chance to meet her. My dad's not a massive royalist, but he had the chance to meet her as well. Yeah. He said she spoke to him and stuff like, "You must be awfully proud of your son and all that." You're like, "Oh yeah, he's he's a mega lad," and all that type of stuff. And yeah, but now I think is it really worth it? Because you've got so much shit going on at the minute.
There's young people, young men and women out there losing their lives and being injured, and like, what for?
I know.
You know, and it's like, I can understand why some people do want to join the forces, because you want to feel a part of something, because it is that camaraderie, because they do want to get out of the shit that, you know, a lot of people from the city, from either rundown backgrounds or not even rundown backgrounds, but they just want to be a part of something, they want to do something, and they're trying to find direction in their life. But it's like, you go in there, and as you said, you're our cannon fodder, and you know, what for? What are we fighting for?
Well, when the thing got announced about Afghan and they were pulling out of it and all that type of shit, that hit me a little bit, because I'm like, well, what the fuck was the point in this? And a lot of people felt that way as well, and you can totally understand it. Yeah. But like, it was like, what the fuck's the point? But obviously, you got to remember, like I say, I don't like dwelling on the past and stuff like that. Like, I keep my mind going forward.
What I mean? You've got to.
But like, that was when everyone was like, well, what's the fucking point? So now, I mean, all the shit that's going on with like Ukraine and Russia and all that shit, which is getting quite scary. But yeah, I might get a call up here.
I don't know that.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it's worth it now, because a lot of people were joining to go and fight in Afghan. That's what a lot of people were joining for. But now, like, you'd be joining for what? To sit in the barracks and do nothing, and probably you know.
Until that call does come, Tom, and then they are sent out to somewhere like Ukraine or something like that, and then, you know, there's people who aren't coming home, or people who are coming home much worse for wear. And what for? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a difficult question, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But it's just the point I wanted to put to you. For someone, you know, it's easy to lads sitting there in the boozer, you know, who haven't been affected by it. But to ask someone like yourself a question like that, I just wanted to see what your feedback would be.
It was worth it at the time. It's probably not anymore. But I mean, obviously, you got to remember, like, when it was the Queen in charge and all that type of stuff. It was, you know, you're fighting for her, and like I say, she was sound. she was lovely, you know, like, she was really, really nice. But yeah, so I don't know. That's a tough question, that lad.
I was going to say to you, what does the future look like for Tom Colridge? But we've got a little insight. So
you've got a massive insight, man. Little Bambino on the way.
On the way, obviously.
I've been winding my missus up, saying, like, naming them after Liverpool players and that. Like, and she's not happy about it. So what, like, there's like Baby Darwin, Baby Bobby, and all that type of stuff coming down. Depending on who scores as well, that's the thing in a minute. But like I say, she's doing all right, you know. I'm looking forward to that. I know my mum and dad are. Our Katie's gone fucking nuts buying things.
Bosh.
But like I say, it's the first grandchild as well.
In the family as well. Really good news. And it's great news, that, isn't it? Yeah. Especially for yourself.
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing.
Well done, mate. I'm so proud of you.
Can't wait. But like I say, that's... You got, like, say, when you're 18, it's different. Like, but when you're getting a bit older, you settle down anyway. Settle down, my missus. You know, she's been living in my house. Sounds quite thingy, but she's been living in my house. She moved in, and like, we've been there for ages now, and all that type of stuff. So I know me mum and dad.
Your house is becoming our house now, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. And
that's what you've been working towards, lad.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and I know
that family unit that you were talking about earlier on with your sister, with your mum, with your dad, you're now creating that, Tom.
Yeah, that's it. And like I say, I know me mum and dad are now. I hope they do anyway. But I think they know now. Like, he's all right. He's sound. He can get on with what he needs to do. Oh, well, I hope so anyway. But I think they do, because, like I say, they just leave me to it now, and I can just get on with things and all that type of stuff. But yeah, like I say, I've got to say,
Tom, you blew my mind. You've been a fucking massive insight, lad, and a massive inspiration. And they say not all superheroes wear capes. Some do wear black Luke tops, lad. Thanks so much for coming on. Would you like to do a shout out for anybody before you go? Fire away, the floor is yours.
Well, obviously, my mum and dad, obviously brought me up, you know, so well, all that type of stuff, you know, made me the lad, the bloke I am now. Our Katie, I can say our Kate's like, she's off her head. Like, she's
special. You can see how much love you've got for her.
Yeah, well, all I've got to say is just one word and she snaps. Like, it's fucking hilarious, because I can wind her up dead easy. But she does it the same with me. And like I say, we have this this banter back and forth and all that type of stuff. Like me nan, me granddad, you know, obviously they've seen their grandchild go through all that type of shit. Like me uncles, cousins, friends, like me Dan, Rossi, Paz, Jay, you know, go through all that. Like I say, a lot of them joined the army as well, you see, so, you know, and all that. So, yeah, and then obviously work, because obviously they give me a job to make me the person I am now. So, disability partnership. What's my dog? Come and see me. No, mate, it's been fucking class this. I've really, really enjoyed it, mate.
No problem. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. This is going to be released, as I say, on the 11th of... it's going to be the 13th of December because it's going to be Remembrance Sunday. Thank you very much for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, social media. Sure, you'll be able to follow Tom. I'll throw his pages up and that in the bio and in my links, and the video will be uploaded soon. And until next time, peace out.
See you later.